Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. Vira Ratsiborynska, an adjunct professor on NATO and transatlantic approaches to security and global politics at Vrije University in Brussels. I started by asking her about the split that appears to be opening up between the bigger EU nations on the one hand and the Baltic countries on the other.
We need to think about threat assessment right now, because what we see it's a full-scale local war in Ukraine, and we need to think about our readiness and preparedness, what we can do more as coordinated approach, and how we can align our threat assessment on this. Because we see that Baltic states is on front line, and actually we need to think what may happen in Baltic states if Russia may take some other course of action. At the same time, we see a very coordinated approach right now amongst many allies, and what we need more, it's of course more strategic vision, what we can do and how we can de-escalate situation. At the same time, what we can do as deterrence and preparedness and assurance to our partners. So we need to think globally and strategically. At the same time, I think France and Germany are doing quite good strategic work, and at the same time Baltic states are preparing very well, because every day that Ukraine fights in war with Russia gives more preparedness for Baltic states.
Well, let me bring you specifically to NATO, which is one of your areas of expertise. Yesterday we heard the news that Finland and Sweden are possibly joining NATO. Vladimir Putin did not want Ukraine to join NATO. He didn't want NATO to expand, as he sees that as a threat to Russia. And yet, with his aggression, it looks like he may well be prompting that expansion himself.
Yes, so what we see right now is a reassessment of strategic environment, and Sweden and Finland right now are reassessing their strategic thinking. And basically what we may expect that Sweden and Finland may join NATO very soon, and what we can see in terms of time frame, it can be done actually by the summit in Madrid. We also see that in June there will be a very strategic document published, strategic concept of NATO. So there are lots of assessment of situation, and Finland and Sweden obviously they would like to join NATO right now and become members of NATO.
And the destruction, if you like, of that Russian warship Moskva in the Black Sea, how big a loss do you think that'll be for the Russians?
So we need to think about regional perspective right now, because when we think about war in Ukraine, we need to reassess also what actually can be damages by Russian forces, what can be security changes with regard of calculus, Russia's calculus, and we need to think about actually regional strategic environment, and think about perspectives, regional perspectives, how it can fit all these dilemmas that we are facing in terms of Ukraine's position, also Black Sea, how it fits into this strategic environment, and also a question of neutrality of Ukraine, because we need also to think about if it's feasible, sustainable, and possible in terms of regional perspective, and what will be our solution on this.
Right, well, talking about things that are enforceable, while we assess whether there's still a lot of attrition to come in this war in Ukraine, do you see NATO possibly coming forward to back some sort of international guarantee or some sort of peacekeeping force as a way of stopping the war in Ukraine?
So So there are also lots of thinking regarding this, because we need to understand that Ukraine is a partner, not a member of alliance. So Ukraine is not covered by Article 5. With this regard, of course, there is a big question on the escalatory measures and how alliance can provide this deterrence and assurance to partner as Ukraine. And obviously, we need to think about what will be other possibilities of action, and how we can provide this deterrence and assurance. And right now, we saw that it was very good answer in terms of solidarity, European Union and NATO solidarity, and also response to Russia's war. But of course, Ukraine needs more solidarity, more coordinated action. Also, I believe that on Ukrainian position, it should be very clear that Ukraine wins when it exists, and we should think about more solidarity with Ukraine, because that is obvious that there should be more coordinated, synchronized actions within our European Union and NATO together.
Okay, Dr. Vira Ratsiborynska, an adjunct professor on NATO, I want to thank you very much indeed for joining us.